welcome to Base Camp. I'm Pastor Pat. I am always looking for a good deal, especially now that it's getting close to the holidays. I've got a lot of people on my Christmas list and not a lot of money in my wallet, so I am definitely up for some good sales. Kind of like this guy. I've got some shopping to do, but man, I'm hungry. Hey, that sign says double cheeseburgers, half off. Get me one of those. Wait, there's only one burger in this bun. I thought it was a double.
Yeah, it's half off a double. Half of 2 is 1. Duh.
Oh, man. That half double cheeseburger made me thirsty. Hey, half off fountain drinks. Yeah, get me one of those. Wait, this cup is only half full.
Yeah, it's half off. But don't worry, I made up for it by adding extra ice.
Oh, man. I need to get a new tie for the wedding. Hey, the store's having half off men's clothing. Score, get me that tie. Wait, what are you doing with those scissors?
It's a half off sale, so I'm cutting off half the tie. Snip, snip.
Oh, man. If I'm gonna look good for the wedding, I'm gonna have to lose some weight. This weight loss medication says that it can take half my weight off. Yeah, sign me up. Somehow, I don't think half off was really what he was wanting. Halfway is no way to do anything. We've been talking about Ahab from 1 Kings, and last week, despite the fact that Ahab is the most wicked king that Israel ever had, we actually complimented him on his willingness to follow God in the struggle that he was having with Ben-Hadad, king of Aram. Now, if you don't remember, in 1 Kings chapter 20, Ben-Hadad had decided to provoke a war with Israel, and his army was way bigger than the army that Ahab had for Israel. So Ahab went to the Lord for help. Good job, Ahab! When God spoke through a prophet and gave Ahab directions on how to win the war, Ahab actually listened, and sure enough, Israel won the war. Yay! No sooner did Ahab win the war than he immediately went back to Ahabing. Ben-Hadad's men were worried that Ahab would kill him, so they met with Ahab to see about what would happen if Ben-Hadad surrendered to him. Ahab called Ben-Hadad his brother. Remember, this is the guy who attempted to steal all of Israel's gold and silver, took away Ahab's wives and children, demanded to be allowed to send men into Israel to take whatever they wanted, threatened to destroy the capital of Israel until there wasn't even enough dust left for his men to grab a handful, and mocked God. If that's his brother, I can just imagine what Thanksgiving must be like in his house. God had called on Ahab to destroy Ben-Hadad and then made it happen for him. But instead of completing the job, Ahab stopped halfway through. God had a prophet disguise himself as a soldier returning from the battle and meet with Ahab. The prophet told Ahab that he had been in charge of guarding a prisoner and had been told that if the prisoner escaped, he would be executed in his place or would have to pay a large fine. The prisoner did escape. He then pretended to ask King Ahab for help, but King Ahab answered, "That is your sentence. You have pronounced it yourself." The prophet then revealed who he really was and told Ahab that he was the soldier who had let the prisoner go and that he had just pronounced his sentence. Ahab's problem was that he had only done half of what God had told him to do. Partial obedience is still disobedience. One of the reasons for Ahab's halfway obedience was that he was only following God for himself. He went to God because he was concerned about the threat of King Ben-Hadad. But once he had followed God enough to get the blessing that he was looking for, he quit. He only went halfway. If we're going to be followers of God, we've got to completely follow Him. That means going all the way, and not just getting what we want and calling it good. God calls us to live a life of full and complete obedience to Him. Are you willing to do that? Ahab wasn't, and it cost him. I think that we can do better than the most wicked king to ever rule Israel. But to do that, we've got to be all in. Are you? I'm Pastor Pat with Base Camp, a ministry of Summit Church in beautiful Bozeman, Montana. We have weekly Sunday services at 10 o'clock. You can also always join us online at summitchurchmt.com and on Facebook and YouTube at Summit Church MT. Our children's ministry Facebook page is Base Camp Kids Min. Be sure to hit those like, comment, subscribe, and share buttons, and I'll see you next time. Bye!